Joy Zenz, who is the founder of African Women in Europe, the CEO of African Women in Trade and the African Market in Europe, chair lady of AWE Diaspora, SACCO, and the CEO of AWE Academy. She has received several awards, winner of the 2018 Africa Business Support Award, and won the Africa Diaspora Living Legend in Germany. Well done, Joy, just incredible. She is also the author where she has compiled and co-authored the AWE Books Volume 1. Her aim is to connect African women living in Europe and around the world through the AWE platforms, irrespective of their geographical locations. Joy has started the AWE networking website in 2008 and now has over 6,000 signed members. And she's actively involved in women networking amongst each other. African Women in Trade was created by the need for African women in Europe to support African women and youth businesses in Africa to empower, share skills, form sustainable partnerships, and support market access, informing of funding and investment opportunities following the AFCFTA agreement. She's a professional event organizer, and together with her team, she has been able to move one step forward from networking online face-to-face by organizing successful events for the past 10 years. Just incredible, Joy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, hello. You can hear me well, I hope. Thank you so much for having me here. It's such an honor to be back on this platform, Africa Trade Conference, and delighted to also meet most of the people here. And as you have said, digital trade is the way to go. As you have heard, Africa Women in Trade, we actually work digitally, and we just had a good chance to meet in person once after 1.5 years in Cape Town, South Africa. We had just landed like a few days ago, because even if we talk digital trade, we need also to meet in person. And the whole idea of the Africa Women in Trade is really focusing on supporting women and youth doing trade in the continent, and through digital. And as much as we think Africa is not ready, and I think Africa is ready, that's why I'm able to work over 4,000 women and youth who are on the ground doing business all over the continent. And we are already seeing products amazing. And through digital trade, I have to say, as the speaker who was there before, Pamela said, digital trade, trade has to go digital in the future. And actually, it's the only way to do business when you go digital. So I'm happy to be here to have this discussion with you and sharing with you the good practice that we have done as an organization.
As the CEO of African Women in Trade, which is just the most incredible platform that I've been honored to witness and to be a part of, empowering women who are trade ready to gain access to new markets is a priority for your organization. When it comes to digital trade, what do you find are the greatest barriers to entry for your entrepreneurs, and how do they overcome these barriers?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The challenges of digital trade, and as I can only talk about my platform for women that I've worked with for now going 2 years since we started 2001 in January, and I'll just point just a few ones. And I think the main one is the mindset. The challenge that we are seeing with our women is the mindset thinking someone has to do something for you. And actually in the digital world, everything is already there. The enabling environments are already in there. And so what we have seen is that most of the tools that you can just get started out of nothing, they're already there and you use them every other day. But you need to change the way of doing it in terms of promoting your product other than putting yourself out there as an individual. So what I mean by that is that showing out the products in their Facebook pages, in their Instagram, in the YouTube, where you spend most of the time there. So in terms of the mindset is that nobody needs to do anything for you, and you don't need any permission from anyone. And so you just have to go because you have everything there with you. And when I compare, because most of the time people say, yeah, the infrastructure is not ready, I can tell you I live in Germany, and the global world is also having problem with going into digital. And through COVID, that's how people were it showed how vulnerable businesses and everything was, and everything died that couldn't go to the digital world. And Germany being one of them, and looking at the education side, I can tell you it was flopped 0 to, I mean, really, it was awful. Like, you couldn't even have simple things like Zoom calls with students, and they didn't know how to go about it because it was not one of their priority. But in Africa, I can tell you, I always go to Kenya personally. I am challenged all the time with the technology they have, the good, I mean, the little time they get on the internet or electricity. I know there is the issue of electricity, but whenever they get a chance to get electricity and the internet, it's amazing what they are able to achieve. So, and you look at us here in the other side of the world, we have the electricity, we have internet, but we are not maximizing it. But so that's where I'm going to the next point of information. Most of our entrepreneurs notice that they are not informed of all these opportunities that are there, although they know they are there, but they don't know how to use it. So there's a lot of information that you need to feed on and they don't know where to get it, or they know how about it. And I can tell you, in terms of information, I always tell them, even when they come and they need to prepare a pitch for me, and I tell them, I need you to show me, because I'm in the Germany, I will not be able to see what you're selling. Why don't you prepare for me a PowerPoint presentation? And they tell me, oh, I don't know how to do it. I said, you know what? You know YouTube? Yeah, go write it down there and you'll see how it's written, and write it down for me. And I'm telling you, they do it, and I'm very excited to see they did it. I did not even do it for them. They went to YouTube, because all of us, we learn everything through YouTube, but we use it for different things, looking comics and interesting stuff. But there's a lot of information for free on the platform. And then time to make use of the opportunities. I know our women are very busy preparing their products and also what they're good at. But in the digital world, you need to create time to learn, to sit down and really take the time to see what, even if I'm talking about going to the YouTube, you need to go sit down, have a quiet time, and absorb the information. So creation of time is also a challenge. I noticed with the women, they're very busy with their life, with the social, with the church community, with that. And I mean, it's like a full calendar with so many things. And I think in terms of time, where I find myself, I'm a mom, I'm also going to, I'm working 100%. You're also doing other things, but I'm able to calculate my time, because I work with women and youth. So women have not so much time, but they can create. What I notice some of the women do is that they have, especially I think in Kenya, if I was not wrong, what I got to know that they wake up very early in the morning before they take the children to school, and they start preparing all their bookkeeping online, tipping in all what they need. And actually, when you do at night, the internet is not that, you have a lot of opportunity to use it. So these are some things that, some few tips that you can create time, and they have challenges in that, in finding the right time to do, to go to use the digital tools. And the other thing is, of course, we need to do a lot of capacity building training, as much as we say to the YouTube as well. It's not for everyone to absorb. And one of the biggest one is actually for me, especially working with the women in trade, is that to understand what is really trade, because I've just had a conference recently and people don't really understand what is trade. Trade is not, it's one step higher than business, meaning you need to get contacts of people, and after that everything is actually digital. Digital means even email is digital, meaning a telephone call, face-to-face. You don't need to meet in person, but you can meet on virtual. All these are digital. Women need to, and you need to understand what is trade. It's not selling one product. I want you to sell tons and sell it to a different country. So these are the challenges that I have, but the main one that I noticed on my own after meeting the women is basically to understand what is trade and what can digital world help in that direction. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joy. And I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again, for the entrepreneurs, trade is incredibly daunting. For the most part, to just begin to have that import-export discussion with some entrepreneurs that are trade ready, It is a process that they need to absorb. And, having access to information, platforms like this is so important. And also mindset. I love how you raised that, because we tend to move away from that. And it's very practical in thinking it. And, one of the other mindset shifts that we're seeing happen more and more now is that people are actually starting to gain the confidence they need as well. Having that self-belief to say, what, I can actually sit in front of this computer and figure it out. I think, that is now actually moving. We're moving now, which we haven't seen has been an issue for a very long time. So thank you for that. Such valuable insight from your side. Miss Joy, do you recommend various digital platforms to your entrepreneurs? Are there specific platforms that you do recommend? And when you do recommend, what advice do you give your members when considering a digital trade platform? And how do you vet such a platform from a security perspective? Do you get involved to that point? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, that's a very good questions, and that's where information comes in, and that's where we are very good at Africa Women in Trade, sharing the information. And when I say Africa Women in Trade, I am holding up like diaspora, the African diaspora, because they know these tools where they are, and some of the information doesn't get to the continent, and that's where we come in. So the Africa Women in Trade, we actually, as I mentioned earlier, it's about the mindset. The tools, they already know them, right? So the first one that I actually managed to connect with the 4,000 women was Facebook and WhatsApp group. So these are tools that are already existing and they're already using. So whatever is needed, the tool is already there around the entrepreneurs especially, and they can use that. So Facebook is where that most of the Africans, including the diasporans, so it's a platform where you get a lot of entrepreneurs, and Instagram, they're also there as well. And Instagram platform have all these pages that you can use to showcase your products. And Facebook also has a shop, e-shop, like the designs you saw me wearing the other time when I was in Cape Town. I actually got them from Facebook, and I ordered them from Kenya, and I asked somebody from Kenya to bring to me to Cape Town. Yeah, it's already happening, the trade on this tool. So the most ones that they need to use right now, they're already existing. These are, as I said, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube is one of my favorite ones when you want to learn something that you don't know. That's where I go all the time before I ask anyone else, because there's a different way of explaining and you can choose however you want. And actually, I believe I encourage every entrepreneur to own a Facebook, a YouTube channel, because there you can showcase your products, you can talk as much as you want, and at no cost, because these things are offered for free at the moment. So I'm talking about everything that I'm talking, the tools right now, you don't pay a penny. So, and you have the opportunity for it. So these are the basic ones, I would say. WhatsApp is a very strong tool that is being used even now for meetings without even seeing each other. You have like a discussion and everybody's asking questions and they reply, and groups. I don't know how many groups all of you are in. You can create your own shop online as a group. So, and that's where you get your client asking you questions, and you can get feedback, and all the data is in there as well, because you have the people there. And you can actually model your product to your customer need, which is the design thinking, which I tell a lot of women to be very careful when they bring products in the market. Are they really needed? Because I don't want to be given a product that I don't know if it's going to get a market. So all these tools, you can use them to analyze if it's needed, are people interested, and the people will always guide you and they tell you. I see a lot of people putting up also on Facebook, what logo do you like? Do you like this one? Do you like that one? Let people decide for you your product, because they are the ones at the end of the day to buy your product. So it's very used to use this. Another thing that I Telegram as well, is a very useful one if you want to huge volume number of people, which you can also go. And another one that is very, very important is Canva. Canva, and I'm not promoting, they are not giving me anything, but I've used Canva for as long as I can't remember. Even I started paying them because I felt pain because I was using too much. So the whole idea of Canva is bringing your product more live and more, people are getting out from text writing to visual. So when it comes to visual, you need to make a nice photo with your mobile. It doesn't have to be a high profile or anything. Make a nice product, and they help you to even color code it with your logo. You can create your logo if you want to for free. Nobody's charging you for this stuff. And this actually, Canva has helped also the digital world to look more smarter. It's more nicer and more flexible. And even now they have websites in there. You can create your own website. They're all developing, and some of these things are for free. So you don't need to pay anything for that. So my women, whenever I tell them if they want to show me a product, don't just send me a photo. I need a photo, put it on Canva, put for me the text, what's the name it is and what it is and the price. That's all. And I can be able to share it on all platforms, because you can put it on Facebook, you can put it on Instagram and all these, but for free again. So our mindset is already close to very small thing, and we are helping the women to go that. So now when I'm saying you to put everything out there, you have to be careful now that the security part, that some of the products you're sharing out there, they are not protected, they don't have trademark, they're not IP. So and I can give this example because of one product I got, and it was so beautiful. And I have to second Craig, the products in Africa are beautiful, amazing. You think, why are they not on the shelves? They are ready to go to the shelves. And one product came and with a very beautiful logo, and I thought, have you really trademarked this? Have you? I can't share this product because it's so beautiful and it will just disappear. And our work was to find, she told us no, and I said, fine, let me find a solution for you for this. So we started digging in, who are the people, it was in Kenya, who can do this, and she didn't know about all these people. And we had first-hand information where they can start getting their, a bit trademark with all these beautiful logos. And because she was also traveling a lot, and some of the countries we know, they're very good at taking away all these good designs. And before you know it, it's everywhere. So, and other things are like simple things like helping them to have a catalog, like some people have WhatsApp group for just their own personal, you change it to a business and you put for me all the products there. So safety is very important when it comes to the digital world. You have to protect your brands, very, very important. And Africa Women Trade actually have taken this to the next level. We are actually working with VIPO. VIPO is an international trademark that we are, after meeting the women in the conference, we are going to follow up all these brands if they are protected in the Africa, because what we have realized in Africa is that if you protect it in Kenya, you still have to go to do it in Uganda, you still have to go do it. It's very expensive. You can't protect we need trademark that protects our product. So the digital world is gonna help us to help the women and youth to understand how to protect their product before they actually bring it out there, because we need to own our brands. That's the whole idea. The Africa brands need to be owned by the Africans themselves. So those are the main ones that I wanted to share with you. And I think this is nothing new, but people just have to stay in their mindset of how to use this simple digital platform. And there are many, but I give you the simple ones that can get anyone started, and you look professional without even doing anything much. Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you so much, Joy. It's wonderful how, so many times, even if I just sit and I think digital trade, I immediately think like I need to have my website, I need to have like an e-commerce platform on my website, but you just bring it down to basics so beautifully. And that's really what the entrepreneur needs to understand, that you don't have to go to the extreme to start moving product. As long as your IP is protected, there are ways and means. I mean, in South Africa, we naturally, and I think maybe I speak for some of Africa, but I can't make that assumption, but naturally we always feel that our security is at threat, and who can you trust and who can't you trust. But when you look at it in that regard, in terms of actually having a platform that is ease of access, like you say, Canva is such a wonderful tool as well. Designing your logos, flyers, all those sort of things that you need. I fully agree with you in terms of utilizing Canva. And I too, like you, have also ensured that I have a paid Canva, because I also too use it a lot and feel that they deserve it. But I love how you simplify things. And sometimes it's great to have that someone to come in to say, started a move to B, move to C, and later on, then join a big platform where you can move products in terms of quantities, etc. So thank you for that. It's really valuable information. And like I say, just bringing it back to basics is sometimes what we need to hear. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, and I agree with you. I mean, with the question that you're asking, is that we need to really come down to the really digital usage of the digital world when we are doing trade. And for me, with the analysis that I'm seeing on my platform, especially with the real MIS, when I say MIS is macro, medium-sized enterprises as well. And it's really the need to, as I mentioned before, it's the idea of understanding what is trade. And then when you know what is trade, which area are you going to be good at in the whole value supply chain or the value chain? So some women are very good. We have to agree they're good at producing their products. And maybe what they need there is very minimum, not much, because there will be somebody else taking over the product and going to the marketing department where they're going to be selling. And they're going to do the next digital negotiation, including the policies and all the agreements and the laws. And that's a different part. So it has to be very clear when you're going to the digital, which area are you going to go into? Because what we are seeing, some women who are really grassroots want to do the whole thing at the end or until the buyer buys the product, which is almost very next to impossible. You're gonna kill yourself in between because the information is too much for you. Most of the time is you cannot be able to absorb it as well. It's complicated. And although people talk about the middlemen, because these people are very important because they take offload the work that the women, the grassroots women, and the people who are really producing the products, the work off from them, and they can really help the products get to the market that they are needed in the right condition, and they can even pass this information, and which is normally not done, which they should do, the feedback back to the farmer to say why the product's not going, how can it go better. So and that's why it's so important to understand which area are you good at. As I said, African Women in Trade, we are good at showing you the markets, right? But I'm not gonna go go down to the product, how it's produced. You're good at preparing your product. I'll show you who does the packaging. The company will help you to do that. I'll show you who are going to do the IPs, you all do that. And my work is the market access. So the market access, and I need you to prepare this product to this category with these certificates, because we also have some products that we receive here without even certificates that are needed to sell a product in Germany, including coffee, and one product which is very good, tea. And I'm happy my member was here, Funke, who was also talking about DHL, and postage is something that logistics has been such a chaotic thing for us. And finding out which are the digital platform, because logistics is actually managed digitally, right? So these are the areas, who are there. And if we have like a roadmap and all that, who is who and who does what, so that the women are able to categorize, know, okay, if the Made in Africa is a place to do B&B and they're good at us, I just need to go there and they'll help me out to go to the next level. And if the Legal Africa, the ones to help me with the understanding how to bring the product, that's the area to go. So this is very important. That's the number one. And as I also just want to emphasize what also the CEO of Africa Trade mentioned. There's enough for everyone, yeah. So there is no need to compete with everyone. This is a message I tell all the women. You are the owner of your product, and the value, as it was also mentioned there, it is very important to add value, and especially innovation. We saw a lot of women with innovation, not to be scared of something that nobody is gonna take it away from me, because if you own it and you go through the right processes, you still own it, and there's enough for everyone. So don't feel like somebody's gonna take away. Africa is so huge and the market is billions, and we need to take advantage of that through digital trade. So those are the main, those are the really points I want to focus. Check which area are you good at, and then check which digital platform will help you to achieve the best there at this particular area. You're not everything. You cannot do everything. And then after that, let's go out there and sell and market, because that's what we do. We want to sell. And my women always tell me, we don't even know when I know what all the things we want to sell. But I tell them there's a process towards it. And that's why it's important to also involve the digital trade. So yeah, thank you for having me here as well.
Thank you so much, Joy. I love your practicality, and you know, it is so true. You know, that competitiveness, that fear is so real. You know, I love how you say that, you know, as you speak to a woman and as you know, they want to do everything themselves. And that's such a typical entrepreneurial trait. We want to do everything ourselves. We tend to be absolute perfectionists. We're so scared to delegate because, you know, it's our vision, it's our mission, it's, you know, our everyday livelihood. So you raised some very important points there. And it's important to understand your place in the value chain, because if you do take on too much, you're going to take from what your product can actually potentially be. Thank you very much for that.